Chapter 13, 16. Moon Festival. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. A few days later. Looking at Mount Snail loudly moving away, and mountain moving old monster standing on top of it with an owner's air, Fang Yuan retracted his gaze and started to leave. Mount Snail's matter had been settled. With Fang Yuan as the representative, Wu Clan had reached an agreement with Mountain Moving Old Monster. Mountain Moving Old Monster obtained most of the benefits of Mount Snail, but this immemorial, desolate beast still belonged to Wu Clan in name. Wu Yong had assigned Fang Yuan to retain Mount Snail. Fang Yuan had retained it. Although it was only a portion, it could be considered as completing the task. Mountain Moving Old Monster agreed to my conditions because of Wu Clan's force behind me. As for Wu Yong, he is currently worn out by dealing with the difficulties created by other superforces. He has no choice but to forcibly acknowledge the resolution of Mount Snail. Wu Clan is in a grave situation at present. As Wu Yong's brother, I should not idle around outside and must return as quickly as possible. Fang Yuan was thoroughly satisfied with the outcome of this matter. He had an explanation to hand to Wu Clan, and more importantly, he had reaped many benefits from this task. He could already begin the construction of coiling thread caves. Because of these resources, Fang Yuan immediately had spare funds to engage in a large-scale expansion of his second major resource. According to the previous development speed, he would have had to wait more than half a year, and in this duration there could not be any unexpected mishaps. For instance, intense battle would consume a lot of red date immortal essence. The rate of time in Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture was slowed down at present. The amount of red date immortal essence he produced was a lot less than before, and Fang Yuan needed to use immortal essence stones to turn them into red date immortal essence. Now, his immortal essence was no longer green grape immortal essence. 100 immortal essence stones were required to turn into 1 bead of red date immortal essence. I need to arrange the goo formation to construct the coiling thread caves. I also need rank 6 immortal material, dark soft silk, and rank 7 immortal material, regret water rocks. With these funds, all this can be completed, and it is only a matter of time. The important thing is, when can I return to the dream realm? Wu Yong's attitude is a crucial factor, Fang Yuan thought as he moved forward. Right as he was on his way back, in the headquarters of Wu Clan, 2 Gu immortals were currently talking about him. Wu Yi Hai. One was Wu Clan's rank 8 Gu immortal, first supreme elder, Wu Yong. The other was Wu Yong's trusted aide, Wu Fa. Who could have thought my brother would resolve Mount Snail's matter so quickly? Elder Wu Fa, as per the clan rules, how should we reward him? Wu Yong asked. Wu Fa was silent for a moment. He knew that Wu Yong's question was not superficial. He was asking about his attitude towards Wu Yi Hai. He was testing Wu Fa. Because Wu Yi Hai's identity was special, he and Wu Yong were half-siblings. Wu Fa quickly thought and replied, Lord Wu Yi Hai has a lone cultivator background. 1 sentence. But Wu Yong laughed heartily. Right, your remark is correct. Yi Hai has a lone cultivator's disposition, even after returning to the clan. He has not changed and is always thinking of quickly making cash and eyeing up cheap benefits. Wu Fa, however, did not agree. Frosty Peak and Mount Snail are not small benefits. Wu Yong's laughter stopped, and a sharp light flashed in his eyes as he nodded. That is indeed not good. If everyone were to be like this, how would Wu Clan continue to exist? But he did not overstep the bottom line and has not left behind any weaknesses that could be exposed. As he said this, Wu Yong sighed and remarked, he has some ability. How could Wu Fa not realize Wu Yong's meaning? Wu Yong naturally could not be pleased at seeing Fang Yuan use the situation to his advantage. But the situation left him no choice. He was lacking manpower and sometimes had no choice but to send Wu Yi Hai to deal with some matters. Fang Yuan had also revealed his ability by handling these 2 matters. This ability had obtained Wu Yong's acknowledgement, so Wu Yong would still continue to use Fang Yuan. But when the time arrives and Wu Clan's situation eases up, Fang Yuan would be cast aside by Wu Yong, to the extent that if Fang Yuan were to leave behind any evidence, Wu Yong would grasp the opportunity and deal a huge blow to Fang Yuan. After all, no higher-up would feel comfortable with someone like Fang Yuan, who sought after personal gains. Fang Yuan successfully returned to Wu clan. He met with Wu Yong and described the whole matter briefly and obtained a reward from Wu clan once again. Fang Yuan chose to exchange for immortal essence stones. Naturally, this sum of immortal essence stones could not compare to what he had obtained from mountain-moving old monster. It was far too few. Over the following days, Fang Yuan cultivated in peace. The construction of the coiling thread caves was slowly progressing. This was his current focus. Every set interval of time, Fang Yuan would have to place his immortal aperture to absorb heaven and earth qi, stabilizing the sovereign immortal aperture. After all, Reverse Flow River was a secluded domain of heaven and earth. It was extremely taxing on the immortal aperture. This matter was slightly troublesome. Fang Yuan could not directly absorb heaven and earth qi because the amount he absorbed every time was huge and the interval between them was also short. As such, Fang Yuan had to search for some immortal materials in Treasure Yellow Heaven, disintegrating them into heaven and earth qi to infuse into himself. All, this no doubt consumed a lot of Fang Yuan's spare energy and finances, but he would rather do this carefully. This was the only way he could stick around long enough and avoid showing any flaws that could let others expose his identity. Days passed by. Fang Yuan started to feel somewhat impatient. The problems on the giant dream realm's end have already settled down, but Wu Yong does not seem to show any signs of letting me return. Looks like what I was worried about happened after all. Sigh, Fang Yuan sighed. In this world, people often had no choice. Wu Yong was busy dealing with difficulties from all sides, doing everything to stabilize the situation. If he let Fang Yuan return, and a problem occurred on the Supergu Formation's end, would he not be creating trouble for himself? Moreover, Wu Yong saw Fang Yuan had some ability and wanted to continue letting him deal with some problems. As for Fang Yuan embezzling resources while doing the tasks, Wu Yong was turning a blind eye to it for now and did not look into it. He did not pursue it, but Fang Yuan wanted him to. Looking at the reason Fang Yuan disguised as Wu Yihai and entered Wu clan, wasn't it for the dream realm? It seems I need to make a move. On this day, Fang Yuan left his residence. For the policies of higher-ups, there were countermeasures. Fang Yuan was an old fox. How could he not have a method to respond to this? Around 12 days later, in a pavilion on Yuehua Mountain, several Gu immortals were seated around a stone table. Warm moonlight flowed down like water. Night birds cried out in the lush green hills. Soft wind brushed past. The view was beautiful beyond imagination. Today is Southern Border's yearly Moon Festival 1. It is my fortune to enjoy this festival with all our honorable guests, Chao Silu said with a smile. Her voice was beautiful, like the soft murmurs of mountain springs, giving a pure feeling. Her appearance was even more beautiful, dressed in a pure white brocade dress, along with her exquisite features. It gave a feeling of a fairy from mortal tales. Being able to receive Fairy Silu's invitation to enjoy the Moon Festival together is my Luo Muzi's honor. A Gu immortal with the looks of a young man spoke. His smile was glowing with enthusiasm, particularly the gaze he had when looked at Chao Silu. It was scorching hot. Chao Silu was one of the 3 publicly recognized top beauties in Southern Border's Gu immortal world. What stood out even more was her background. Chao clan, although affiliated with Wu clan, was also a righteous path superforce. Among the 6 Gu immortals present, there were 2 women and 4 men. Other than the one couple, Luo Muzi and Lun Fei were pursuers of Chao Silu. There were many pursuers of Chao Silu, but being able to receive an invitation to this festival from her showed these 2 were not at the same level as the rest. Luo Muzi and Lun Fei were naturally happy. They came rushing over immediately when they received Chao Silu's invitation. But at this moment, Chao Silu spoke to another male Gu immortal. Yi Hai, you said you wanted to integrate yourself into Southern Border? Tonight's Moon Festival is a custom of Southern Border. Southern Border has a lot of mountains separated from each other, but the Moon Festival is a common custom. Every year at this time, we will all appreciate the moon. Her eyes were glistening with light. Her soft voice and her smiling rosy lips created an extraordinary image. Luo Muzi and Lun Fei immediately frowned, as they rigidly stared at Fang Yuan with eyes that could burst into flames. Chao Silu's differing attitude could be clearly seen by anyone who had eyes. Moreover, the seating arrangement had already put Luo Muzi and Lun Fei in a bad mood. Because on the main seat was Chao Silu, and on her right seat was Fang Yuan, while to her left was her best friend, Fairy Tianlu. As for the other male Gu immortals, their seats were arranged quite far away. Moon Festival? Fang Yuan's expression was indifferent, he asked even though he already knew. Interesting. What do we do besides appreciating the moon? We drink tea, recite poems, and also dissect rocks, Chao Silu explained with a smile. Dissect rocks? Fang Yuan looked puzzled. Chao Silu did not reply. Instead, she handed a cup of fragrant tea to Fang Yuan. First, please taste my personally brewed tea. Luo Muzi almost stood up at this sight. Lun Fei's eyelids twitched violently, wishing he could be in Fang Yuan's place. Fang Yuan took a light sip of the tea and commented, "This tea is not bad." "Only not bad? This is Fairy Silu's renowned willow spiral tea," Luo Muzi almost yelled. "Merp. Is there something special that I am unaware of?" Fang Yuan looked at Chao Silu. Chao Silu met Fang Yuan's gaze, before her eyes turned and she laughed softly. Lun Fei's heart started beating faster at the fairy's charming laughter. At this moment, Fairy Tianlu aptly chirped, "This willow spiral tea, if you lightly shake it, a whirlpool will form on the surface of the tea in the appearance of a willow leaf. You will only get the true extraordinary taste of the tea when you drink it at that time." "Oh? So it was like that?" Fang Yuan shook the cup in his hand, and immediately there was a change on the surface of the tea. He drank it then, and felt the fragrance overflow in his mouth, giving him a pleasant aftertaste and satisfaction. "Great tea," Fang Yuan praised. "Of course it is a great tea. Fairy Silu's personally brewed tea is not something just anyone can get to drink," Luo Muzi sourly said. "To be able to receive your praise, Silu's efforts were not wasted. You should know that you need to spend 6 hours to make this tea, and you cannot be even the slightest bit careless during the whole process," Fairy Tianlu said. Lun Fei was extremely moved. "It is truly my lifetime's honor to be able to taste Fairy Silu's personally brewed willow spiral tea tonight." Fairy Tianlu's eyebrows immediately rose. "Who said you can taste the willow spiral tea?" Silu took out some time from her busy schedule to make this one cup.